Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Watch Your Lips. Very special episode, as always, joined by Jeff Cox, Kevin Burns. Back again is Caleb Bravo, and with the special guest, Fresno State standout, local standout, but Fresno State standout, Jalen Moreno-Cropper.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Welcome.
Sir.
Thanks for joining us, brother. Making some time.
Thank you.
We were kind of talking like, you guys got a little connection here. You go back a little ways. How far back?
It's very, very far back. Basically, since I grew up, he's been a part of my life. Grew up with my parents, so it was just kind of like, I was the firstborn. And ever since then, like, we've been tied in together, him and his family, mine and my family, like, everything. Basically, like, everything just evolved, like, it involves all of us. So I just, very, very, very close to him.
Like a brother?
Like a brother, yeah.
Like a brother.
We call him my white dad.
Yeah, that's what we said too. Well, how I knew him is that I played basketball with his dad.
Wow.
In like men's basketball leagues, because his dad was, like, he could probably still dunk right now, and he's 42, 43. He can still throw it down. He's a bad basketball player.
That's not that
You
old.
make it sound like that's old, bro.
We're that's not that old.
No, it was like but at 43, whatever, and can still dunk and can still run courts like whenever he wants to, even though hasn't played like 2-3 years.
Yeah,
he'll still run the court.
Get in, give you a good 3-5 minutes.
in
the game.
Spurts.
But,
Hey, that's more than I can.
Yeah.
That is way more than I could do, bro.
I couldn't do
That's
that.
an eternity.
Yeah.
So it's in the blood then.
Yeah.
Was he a
most
basketball
definitely.
player? Was that his sport?
Yeah, he was. His sport was basketball. My sport was basketball growing up, but like once I got to high school, it was kind of like I just fell in love with football a little bit more. I knew like my talents were gonna take me a little bit farther, so I just kept and I stuck with football. Because my brother played basketball. Like he quit football because he wanted to play basketball. So it's kind of like my other brother Devin. He plays basketball as well.
You're that outlier, bro. You're the one that didn't follow in everybody's footsteps.
But Marky's coming back. Marky's coming back to football. He came back, last year was his first year
past
since
year was his
second
first
grade.
year.
Since sixth grade. But he did good. He started, he played.
So, Jalen, what do you say to people who say the 1998 team at Sanger High football is much better than the 2016 team? We all know the 1976 team was the best. They were the original.
Yeah. Just because there was one Valley title.
Yeah. It's a lot of things that go into that. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, because we had a lot of players on that team. And we were undefeated. I think the only thing, because I never really like paid attention to Sanger football before I was in like 5th, 6th grade. So like all the way up to, because I know, obviously, Herman Cookson, who he was, Coach Caleb and all their teams, and everything that they did. But I just felt like, we had that 2016 year, I think that was.
It was special. They had way more individual talent, like in positions, and we were more of a team. We had some of their talent, but we had the team. That's what made us so successful in that era, because we deal with Edison, that was ranked number 5 in the state, and Clovis West, who was nationally ranked.
Oh yeah, you had Ricky Manning.
That was, and the league was different because that track league was one of the best in the country,
right?
In all sports, kind of thing. They were bad, so that's what makes it kind of.
So 2016 is better,
talent wise. Yes. Oh, by far talent wise.
Well, you have how many? You have at least one guy in the NFL from that team, and then. Soon too, right?
Yeah, they had a bunch, and then one of them could have.
Yeah, like Miguel. Miguel was probably. I think he ended the season with like 130 tackles.
And like 10 games.
Yeah,
dude.
Wow, 13 a game.
I think all of our there were certain games where he was having like 20 tackles a game. and like there was just. Like,
Do you
we
think
were
that
blowing teams out because like they just couldn't get past the 50-yard line on us?
Right. Did that season really like cement your decision of football is my sport, or was it before that? I know you said that high school you kind of decided, but was that season a deciding factor?
I think it was way before.
Way
that,
before
yeah.
it?
Like I've always just played basketball just because like it was fun. It kept me in shape. And then all my friends like played, so like it was just like went out there and played, and then obviously like AAU, like that was fun. So like I already knew like football was something I wanted to do. I knew that was like my sport. It was just sometimes like basketball was just a little bit fun, like a little bit more fun. Because even now, like we'll go to the rec and we'll play basketball and just for fun. But it's like you want to play basketball because it's just fun going out
you
there.
Just relax and play a game.
It's not like serious and
Yeah.
physical where you can't like. Football, there's no open rec league.
Right.
Football,
Yeah. You're not going to go
you
play
imagine,
flag
though?
football,
Yeah.
right?
And not even that, like basketball is non-contact. So like in football, you can't go find just a random day where somebody's playing and hitting with pads and like doing 7-on-7 stuff like that. Like you can't find open fields and seeing people do that. So like basketball is just something to go out there. Obviously keeps you in shape. But obviously, you don't go out there and try your hardest. Like you go out there, just have fun, try to do dunks, try to shoot. Even if like you're not a shooter in high school, like when you play, like you go out there and just shoot the ball.
Just shoot three. You're just trying to make those half
and then
court.
make excuses when you miss. My.
I got hit hard.
Is that the Caleb Bravo movie?
Yeah, that's Caleb. That's what he does.
I snapped my finger at work, so it can't.
The world famous quote when they shoot like an air ball, they talk about they just benched today or something like that.
It was arm day today. It was arm day.
Arm
That's
day.
right. I can't feel it.
Yeah. He hasn't seen a weight room in a while, have you,
Dude.
Caleb?
Since high school.
Yeah, me too.
Ugh.
Really?
I know it doesn't look like it, but
rooms are dumb. They're overrated, dude. No, I'm just kidding. We were in there so much. I just got sick of it, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, we do push up, do Rocky style,
Yeah, exactly. Body weight. Yeah.
pulling trees and chopping wood
Squatting
and
logs
all
and
that
stuff.
shit.
Fighting
Hell
Russians.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We're sounding older and older.
Running through KGBs, you know.
Are you a Rocky guy?
I'm more of a Creed guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch. Like,
I have
more-
not
Did you
got-
see 3 yet?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
watched
good?
Creed 3. It's pretty good. I think they rushed it because it was only like an hour and a half long, hour and 50 minutes. So
Oh, they
I
crammed
think
it.
you see all the other Rocky movies; those are like at
2
least
hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
At least. So I think just like the storytelling, like it felt like it was rushed. So like when you're watching a movie, everything's just like flying through. But it was a good movie. I think definitely Creed 2 is probably the best one.
See, I've only seen the first one, so I got
Well, once Mick died, it all went downhill.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Rocky wasn't in the
third
one.
one.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Because
Yeah,
they went off script kind of, so he
Okay.
didn't want to do it.
I
That's
thought
what
I saw like an
interesting.
interview where he was saying he was hoping to have some input or like direction of it was going to go, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And that was he kind of separated himself and didn't back it or support it really.
You probably wanted to take control of it.
Well,
And-
wasn't Michael B. Jordan the director of that one?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
think-
love that they wanted to continue it and use him as Apollo's kid, though. I think
Yeah, that's a cool
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah,
that was
for
dope.
sure.
But the second one was good.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second
yeah.
one.
Second was
Great.
good. Second was good.
I'll have to watch them. I haven't seen any.
Of course you have.
Oh my god.
Just watching golf.
Jeez,
Golfer?
Got a bench one. Nah.
No
I
golf?
Can't go. I can't hit the ball.
Oh, come on. You can come out with
hit
me.
the ball.
You'll hit it. You'll
That's
hit the
exactly
ball.
like baseball. I never played baseball. I couldn't hit the ball.
Really?
Yeah.
You play pickleball? It's a
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just for fun, but I couldn't hit the ball. So I was
you were
I
like,
can
I'm
catch the
over.
ball, I can throw. I just couldn't hit it. So I was like there was no point in me going out there.
Yeah.
It's like Caleb, 1 and 9.
It's-
Hit a home run or
He couldn't hit the
strike
ball
out
either.
5
Yeah,
times with
dude.
4 doubles.
Yeah, just
That was
don't
this
throw me a
guy.
curveball. That's
Right.
it.
He didn't
That's
hit
all.
Straight ball
singles.
hit very much.
You notice that? Caleb never hit singles. It was a home run, double, or strikeout.
That's it,
Yeah.
dude. That's it.
Honestly.
Singles they're boring.
They were left for me.
Yeah.
They were left for me.
Yeah, no matter what.
Strikeouts are
Burnsy, you had something else, didn't you?
I did, yes. So, what do you say to people who say Jalen Cropper was a better wide receiver than Jalen Moreno-Cropper?
I feel like I think Jalen Moreno-Cropper, I think he just had a little bit more like chip on the shoulder.
Nice.
I had a little bit more like I had there was more things that I was playing for. It wasn't, it was more than just going out there and having fun. It was kind of like the last name on my back. Wanting people to, remember who I was. And
honoring your grandpa, right?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I think, being able to do that was definitely something where, I took a lot of pride in that. So, like, going out there every day, obviously, trying to be the best receiver in our conference, and then obviously, be able to prove to people that, I'm worthy of playing in the NFL. So I think, just everything that I took into account why I wanted to change, put that my grandfather's name on my back. Was really because, I wanted to be able to go out for my last season and obviously, be remembered as, Moreno-Cropper, not just Cropper.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Are you going to continue that, or are you?
I got to talk to my grandma about it. But I mean, like all the things, like at the combine, they had my Moreno-Cropper on it.
Right.
So I was like, it's just kind of something that I built. So now it's just like now. Everybody, that's what everybody calls me on all the draft boards. Like they have Moreno-Cropper instead of, Cropper. So I think, that's definitely something that, I'll be able to, take
That's
on
pretty
to
cool,
the
though,
NFL.
to get there and see that
that's awesome.
when you're not expecting to see that on your stuff.
I didn't think that was something like that people were going to, obviously expect and put my name on all that stuff. Cause I just wanted to do it for this season. Like I didn't legally change my name. It was just like I told our equipment staff, like I want to put my grandfather's last name on, my back. So that was just like a thing that I wanted to do for the season. But everybody just kept on with it. Everybody, like I see people on Twitter, like when people call me Jalen Cropper, like, no, that's not Jalen.
That's not who that is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah. Like,
I vote keep it like that. But obviously it's up to
I bet your grandma
it's one of those things that sticks, though.
Yeah.
The story, everything behind it, what you were playing for. I mean, we all got behind it. It was awesome. You know, Fresno really got behind it. We're going to talk a lot about football today, but I wanted to bring up March Madness. You kind of led into that because you said you're a basketball guy. Did you fill out a bracket? Are you watching the games?
I filled out a bracket. I think at my first day it was just over.
Did you have Purdue?
No, I had in the Final Four. It was Alabama. I think I had Alabama and UCLA. Like in the final two. I had UCLA winning it. Obviously, that didn't go. I had Alabama going to the Final Four. That didn't go. I didn't think San Diego State was going to go.
No.
I mean, I don't think anybody could have predicted this Final Four. You have, 2 5 seeds, a 9 seed?
Yeah.
Anybody have FAU still? I know you guys don't.
No.
I had them get into, like, Sweet 16. But other than that, like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Did you hear what the coach came out with? The FAU coach said that he was calling out other coaches for recruiting during the tournament. So every game that they were playing, that they were around, coaches were trying to recruit them for next year, tell them to switch and everything. So they put today the article came out. He said, I have to do recruiting every day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you experience that?
Kind of, sort of, not really. It wasn't like a obvious thing, but it was a kind of thing where they knew mutuals, so it was like, they would tell them people, and then those people would tell me, like, hey, they're looking for a receiver, or this is happening. So, I mean, I kind of never really fed into it because I knew that's kind of like the whole business of, the NCAA and recruiting and doing all that stuff, and especially because of NIL and how when that first came out, like, everybody was just throwing money. So I was just like, just being able to go through that. And, I mean, obviously, I made – my share of money from, NIL, but it was like the recruiting, like how recruiting goes, not only football, but like basketball. Like you see basketball, baseball, a bunch of things, and it's just like a lot of it's money now. Because, I mean, I think I seen an article. I was talking to Mosby yesterday. I think Bronny was making like $7.5 million in NIL money, and he's in high school.
In high school?
Yeah.
Wow.
What sport?
I think he's basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
Who?
Ronnie James.
Ronnie James.
Okay.
He's making like 7.5 in high school.
Well,
because you could make money in high school in California now.
That's crazy.
The kid from Alabama, before he even snapped the ball, that quarterback would
the Texas kid. He's back in Texas.
Yeah, he didn't play. He played like one snap at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And was $2 million. No, the kid from Alabama was, before he even started the season, was at like 4.5.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, the Cavender twins was making money.
Oh yeah.
Before the NIL thing went out, and we were talking about that, how the NCAA hated Miami so much that was their target. You know, since the '90s, they said they hated Miami since Miami football.
The U,
NCAA,
bro.
yeah,
The U.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm not going to let you guys just skip over this because I slaughtered you in the brackets. and I mean, I know we've got Jalen here, but
is it over?
Congratulations.
It's going to be over. Nobody can catch me.
Listen, if
They give me
anybody
shit,
else
Jalen.
had won, we wouldn't be talking about
talk
this.
about it at all. And
we
the crowd
did
goes wild.
we did our podcast bracket, and
We did other brackets too, and
you're right.
same results.
not
But
all of
just
them.
saying.
Not all of them, Jeffrey.
I just had to get it in.
Jeffrey's the most
Are
competitive.
you going to win
guy
our
we
bracket,
know.
our Watch Your Lips bracket?
Yes.
Okay. Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Good job.
But it's not about me. It's about
Yeah.
our boy here. I just wanted to get that in because they like to do this, man.
We're not glazing over
When I
this?
win,
We
they
are
glaze over
You
it.
got to put that out there.
Absolutely.
Obviously a standout. Four-star recruit out of high school. Fresno chose to stay home. And you had some Pac-12 schools. You had
Yeah.
some big schools on you. Was it just I wanted to be a dog?
That was one of the reasons. Yeah, obviously, growing up and going to Fresno State games, you seen Devontae Adams, score touchdowns. You seen Jalen Saunders out there, Isaiah Burris, Derek Carr. Like those are the people I really looked up to growing up. So like going out there and remembering like those memories that I had, with my grandpa, was definitely one of the reasons. Another reason was, obviously Coach Tedford and the person he was. He heavily recruited me. But I think it was the day of my recruitment party. I found out my mom was pregnant with my little brother, so that was just kind of like there was no hesitation in me switching. I was gonna commit to Oregon. That's where I wanted to go. I mean, obviously growing up, everybody loved Oregon. Like you play NCAA.
Fuck the Ducks, bro.
NCAA.
We don't like Oregon.
Yeah,
I'm just playing.
You pick Oregon just because the jerseys. They had obviously. They had
Facilities, man.
I mean, it's a power. They're always
Mariota.
playing for something every year.
Yeah.
They're
It's
always
Nike.
there.
It's the
I have
home
to say
of Nike.
that is really commendable that your mom was pregnant with your little brother and that commitment you made. As a father of children who are older, and then I have a young one like that. That's
Way to turn on you.
He's got an
That's
army,
really
so
cool.
he's staying home too.
I think that is really awesome.
Yeah, that
Seriously.
was like-
Absolutely.
The night before, I made you a bunch of shirts.
Yeah, because I had
And,
my top
yeah.
5. It was Nebraska, Utah, it was Cal, Fresno State, and Oregon. So it was my
Those are big names, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we're glad you stayed.
top 5.
You gave us a lot of.
I mean, you
lot to
listen.
cheer for.
If you put that list in front of most guys, Fresno State is just there for show.
Yeah.
They're not picking that hat up.
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes, yes, you're right. But I mean, there are locals that will stay. You got the Derek Carrs, the Trent Dilfers, the David Carrs that, they wanted to be here. They wanted to be dogs, So to hear you say that you wanted to be a dog for whatever reason, we love it.
Yeah,
And
there was
we're
a
all
lot,
about the
too,
dogs
'cause
here.
I think it was DeRuiter before.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a thing where like they didn't really recruit the Valley and the kids that played here from State. Like
Right.
they're obviously in your hometown, like you're not going to recruit them. So like from that time period, I don't think I knew anybody on Fresno State that was from the Fresno area.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was kind of like once Tedford got here, everything changed in snap of a finger. Like I think when Mosby, his first year, Tedford's first year was Mosby's first year going into college. I think that year he had around 7 to 8. Not even that. He probably had about around 10 people from Fresno area on scholarship at Fresno State, and then there was a few more on walk-ons and stuff. But now our team now. From last year's team, I think there was probably at least 20 people from the Valley.
Yeah, see, that's
That's
great.
awesome. man.
I mean, that brings fans.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because the time you were being recruited, Fresno State wasn't even close to that caliber of team that all those other teams were. So it's not like you're jumping into a good team, a solid team. It was iffy.
Yeah.
Even with that, transitioning.
But a lot of
that's
times
even
when that happens, more follow, right? And it
True.
attracts more guys to stay.
Well, you hit one thing that I wanted to talk about. So you said Tedford's character, just the man he was, he kind of drew you in. What was it what sold you? Because, I mean, keeping a local product like you here is huge. As a fan and a diehard fan, I mean, I'm a big supporter. You know, I've coached. I look at Tedford and I don't see the rah-rah. You know, I don't see that that energy. He brings it when he needs to, but from a player's perspective, like what did he?
He's more like all business.
Yeah, it seems like his demeanor is calm. Like no matter what the game is, he can keep it level.
Yeah,
you know, which
there's certain times where he will pop off in practice, but I mean, obviously, having conversations with Coach Tedford, I think like when you have a genuine conversation with him, I remember it was a home visit. Him and Coach Kirby. They had came down to the house and we were just talking, and I mean him and my grandpa were just at the kitchen just sitting down just talking for at least 30 minutes. Like I didn't know what they were talking about. They were just talking, and it was just like when you see that and you see how comfortable he is around not only you but your family, that kind of brings the vibe of like a family type of vibe. So like me with him, he's always kept it very honest with me. And he told me, he was like, to be honest, like you have talent that'll take you to the next level. And I feel like me and my coaching and how, I present myself to this business, I feel like I can put you in that next level. And when I thought about that, it was just like, he told me a story about how, when he played here, he did his NFL stuff. He was able to coach. When he came back to Fresno, he got his family a job. He was able to help out his family just because of the name that he held. And it was just like when you think about that, like obviously I'm from this area, so like being able to play here, I think I was just talking to my aunt. Like I was able to talk to his name is Dr. Bautista. I was able to talk to him about getting her a job because she just got her license for phlebotomist.
Oh, cool.
So she just got her interview. She did all good. She got the job, and it was just like those things all go back to that conversation that me and him had my freshman year. And I think that just the person, the character he has, how he carries himself, how he cares about you not only as a football player. Like all these coaches care about you as football players. They don't really care about what you got going on in the life, because once you leave, I'm over you.
They're on to the next.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like Coach Tedford, like that's not it. Like you still have contact with him no matter what it is. He'll always try to help you out, and it's just like it was always you first and then football. And it was just like the way he did that for not only me, but it was everybody. Like because there's obviously going to be certain teams where they put their top players on the pedestal, and then they're the players that don't really play much.
Right.
They're kind of like they don't tend to as much. But it's like he does that with everybody. Not only them, the coaching staff, the staff that's just on, like the academic staff. The people that work at the facilities, it's just with everybody. And I mean, you obviously see that like day in and day out.
That's awesome, man.
And that was good when Ted was there. I remember because he knows his grandpa. They worked together at Weyerhaeuser in Sanger. Tedford was the salesman, and then when him and his grandpa were talking for like half an hour, it was just them two talking, no one else in the room.
Yeah.
And he goes
talking about cardboard.
He goes,
paper
yeah. He goes.
Right? Yeah.
He walks by. He goes, I do remember. I knew you looked familiar, but it was that genuine. Not like, oh, I'm here to please him. So yeah, I remember you.
Right.
No, he actually had. Yeah, he actually had stories.
It was
sincere.
and
really
everybody was there. Yeah,
family atmosphere.
Yeah, everybody that was there. He had individual conversations with us too. Like everybody was there. T-Bone, Mosby.
You're like, I'm not eligible anymore, but can I get in?
No, yeah, but he genuinely cared about every single one.
That's awesome, man.
And not like, oh, you guys are just around. I'm here for him. No, he was here for his whole family. That's what That's what he liked about him too. Is like just Tedford was like that.
When I feel like at Fresno State, you probably, as a coach, if you're that way, you're gonna be much more successful at recruiting the Valley. It's a different breed.
Everybody loves Coach Tedford. Like when he finally came back, like you can just hear from people talking and everybody. Like you just see people. You go grocery shopping, like they're talking about, oh, Coach Tedford's back. This, and like everybody's just happy. And it's just like you can tell the atmosphere from obviously playing with Coach DeBoer, I mean, he's a great coach, but it was just like Coach Tedford grew up.
He wore those colors.
Yeah.
He walked down that tunnel.
He's Bulldog born, Bulldog bred.
Yeah. He knows that stadium. It's home to him.
Everybody loved him. Like, I think his first game back, like, the crowd was going crazy. Like, it was just crazy because obviously, you know, the things that he went through, and to be able to come back and coach us and then obviously lead us to a championship on his first year back again, it was just like, it was very, like, surreal just to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
To talk about your numbers a little bit, and I could be wrong. All right, you let me know if I am.
Wrong.
Career 31 total touchdowns, 26 receiving, 5 rushing, 2,701 yards receiving. Now, fun fact, your freshman year, you rushed for more yards than you received, and you had 3 rushing touchdowns as a freshman.
I was a running back my freshman year.
And the other fun fact for those listening is, and this could, let me know if this is wrong, in 221 career receptions, 0 fumbles.
I had one my junior year.
Did you?
Yeah, I had 2.
Did you guys recover it though?
Yeah, you're the stat guy. He's got unless I didn't see.
So we're not counting it.
That didn't count. I didn't see it. You had 2?
I didn't see it.
The honesty. I gotta respect the honesty.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I had 2 last season, not this past year, but my junior year,
21,
which was one of the reasons why I chose to come back another year. Obviously, you know, you put stuff on film, and you know the coaches are going to think about that, like, oh, he puts the ball on the ground. So, you know, being able to come back for another year and not put the ball on the ground not one time was definitely something where it's like I don't have to tell you, like, I can
show you.
Yeah. So that was.
But they're all extra. All this fun because I was there mostly. It was the extra effort that he put. That's what. It's not like he was being all careless with the ball and loaf of bread kind of shit.
Right.
He was doing it
fancy.
He was fighting for those extra yards.
Yeah.
Well,
the fact that out of all those stats, the one that you were like, no, that one's wrong, is the fumbles. It says a lot because you're like,
I swear to God, I'm
gonna get better after my failures, right?
That's
why
I really had 3, lost 2, lost 2, and I got the one back. But
I must have been on something.
The other records that he almost broke but didn't was mine at Singer High.
Oh God!
God!
Moving on.
Here we go.
He tried. He tried.
You brought up.
He texted.
You brought up 2021, and I kind of talked to you. Yeah. Whatever. We'll get back to your episode later.
Yeah, we'll bring you on next time.
So 21 was kind of crazy. You guys have a good season, 10-3, and I mean, we've talked, and I've been kind of curious since. Like, you were honored second team, which is an accomplishment, right? But you look at the numbers, and there was guys that got first team, and when I went back and looked again, I'm kind of like, well, why did you feel snubbed? Because to me, I mean, I kind of would have taken that, like, I don't want to say bitter, but like, you had a good season. Was it because I'm a junior?
You had a great season.
Is it politics? Is it because I didn't have the yards? Because the yards weren't that different other than Tompkins.
Yeah.
You had more receptions, more touchdowns. You played more games. Your team had a better record. And I'm like, well, is it because he was a junior? Is it politics? Because it didn't make sense to me. I don't know. How did you take that? Or did you take that as fuel?
Yeah, kind of like definitely fuel. But at the same time, it was kind of like something that is out of my control. So I mean, you know, every day I went out there my junior year, you know, either whether it was practice or a game. It was really just trying to be, you know, the best player I could be for our team to win. Obviously, you know, my junior year didn't go as how we wanted. Obviously, going out there beating UCLA and then playing the next game, UNLV, you know, beating them. And then losing to Hawaii and not being able to, you know, be in the championship. I think if we would have won that game, we would have won the championship.
That was a travel. That was a travel issue.
You had the Ducks on the ropes too. That game, you guys had them beat.
Like, I was talking to Rome. We call him Rome. Rome McKinley. He's a safety down there at Oregon when we played them, and he was like, "Yeah, like y'all had us." Yeah,
they were sweating a little bit.
Yeah, they were scared. They always do.
Yeah, y'all had us.
They always do.
But it was just like, you know, we went out to Oregon. When we went to Oregon. I mean, 2 quick turnovers. They got the ball. It was quick 14-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. So it was just kind of like we kind of were playing from behind the whole game. I think from the second quarter to the beginning of the fourth, they didn't score, and it was just like something that we were on. I mean, we were on their ass. So like,
Well, in Hawaii, like that's frustrating because you're with a 2-score lead and what 5-6 minutes ago.
That was probably one of the most
devastating losses.
That was a long trip home, I bet.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was a long trip to Hawaii.
It was a long trip.
That travel was.
It was a whole
horrible.
bunch of stuff that had happened because our plane got delayed.
Leaving to Hawaii?
I don't think. It didn't get delayed. They didn't know that this was the time we were supposed to leave.
Yeah.
So they were still in San Francisco. So we had to. We were ready when we do all that. We leave Thursday. We didn't get there. We left Friday because we played Saturday. We played what? It was Friday, right?
It was Friday. You guys didn't get.
We had a Friday night game.
Yeah, there till Saturday.
It was a Friday morning game.
12:45 a.m.
We played there Friday at 1:00. So when we got there the day before at like 11 p.m. Hawaii time. So like when we got there, it was go to sleep, wake up, get my ankles taped.
It's game time.
Yeah, it's game time. So it was kind of. I mean, that's not really an excuse, but at the same time, it's like.
Well, you don't have time to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
And
You
they
guys,
made,
I mean, it's no
and
different
they
than
made
the
them
other-
switch stadiums.
to athletes.
Last
Yeah, that was that
And they-
year where you played on
we
that
played
side
out there
field.
like kind of like it was kind of.
It looked like a high school stadium, bro.
It was
Yeah.
like a practice field.
It's
hard to get.
They said no Fresno State players allowed, no Fresno State fans allowed. And then at the last minute, so no one could plan anything, no one can go. And the last minute, they're like, "Okay, you guys are here. You guys can come in." It was jacked. It was bad.
It wasn't really an excuse though to go out there and lose, but at the same time, it was just like we had a lot of turnovers that game. That was kind of like the story of why we lost our games that year was because we had turnovers. Like Oregon, we lost turnovers. Who we lose to that year? Boise, we lost because of turnovers.
in Hawaii.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
Yeah,
That was it.
lost because of turnovers.
Well, I'm curious. You guys went through a lot of adversity when DeBoer abruptly leaves. I mean, there was scuttle, that he was going to leave, not knowing who the coach was going to be. I mean,
Well, and Hayner's thinking about leaving.
exactly. Hayner's put himself into the transfer portal at that point, and then they announced Teddy coming back. But I mean, where was your mindset when all that was going on? I mean, were you thinking about declaring? Were you coming back no matter what? Were you gonna go into the portal? Kind of tell us a little bit about where your mind was.
Yeah, there was a lot of thoughts going on. Obviously, when I heard about the coaches leaving, I was like, okay, like that's them leaving. I already knew that kind of like my decision was gonna be either I was gonna declare for the draft or I was gonna come back one more year. And the only reason I was gonna come back one more year is if Jake had came back. So like that whole process, I did obviously have a conversation with them about leaving. When they left, they told me that they're leaving. This is what's happening. So I was just like, okay, I got I got a few weeks to be able to actually make my decision on what I want to do. So obviously, how the season went. I took my time off, like from football. I didn't worry about football. I didn't think about football. Just spent time with family. And then I think it was like a week and a half later, Jake had called me, and he was like, "Yeah, like I'm gonna come back. Like, are you gonna come back?" And this and that. I'm like, "Yeah, like I'll come back." So like ever since then, it was just I already knew that it was either gonna be the NFL or I was gonna come back. And the only reason I was gonna come back was because Jake stayed.
Yeah.
Well, and then it was hype up. Like the expectations were really high for 2022.
Yeah. And
I
then
mean, we had everybody coming back except for a couple people on our defense. Offensively, we had everybody came back on the offense except for our right tackle. And then defense, everybody came back except for Kev and Mosby. And then our linebacker, Tyson. Other than that, everybody came back.
Well, we all went to the USC game.
Yeah.
And we stumble across Caleb walking to a taco truck.
Yes.
After the
Sober
game.
as a bird.
But that's after we got thrown out of a restaurant first.
We never made it physically into the table.
We tried.
I tried to
This good trick.
lobby us to get a Yard House table, and she cut it off. I couldn't get a
Real
wristband,
fast.
bro.
It took like 6 people working there to figure out that he was lying.
Yeah, and then finally I left.
do you know this guy?
But anyway, we're at the USC game. Hayner goes down. That's a big deal, right? You guys go into that into that slump. Fresno can be fair weather fans, and I can say that in confidence because I've been around it a long time.
Yeah.
What sparked you guys? Like, what the turnaround was remarkable, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it you guys? Was it coach? What's the locker room like in that environment when you're going into game 5 after you've lost 4?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you follow that USC up. I think you go to was it UConn?
Yeah, UConn.
Because after USC, we only lost. I think it was like 2 in a row.
Yeah,
we lost 2 in a row.
Or something
But you guys fought back against USC.
We
You
lost.
were down and they were coming back.
We lost to UConn and Boise over there.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot going on in the locker room. Definitely, a lot of heads low. Definitely after the USC game, I think that bye week kind of helped us because it was kind of like flush that. We got a new week. I think traveling when we went to UConn, it was obviously the first week of 5 starting. First week of a lot of players starting actually because we had a few players go down. Evan wasn't available. Evan was hurt. Yeah, so. It was, I think Dante got hurt too. Our left tackle got hurt. So it was a lot of new players in new spots. So it was just kind of like, I wouldn't say it was kind of like when we went out there and it was kind of, we wanted to see what people did. It was like, we wanted to win. It was just everybody, like there was people in new spots. There was definitely people too where it was like, we weren't, obviously, how we said from last year, like we turn the ball over, we lose. I think UConn, we went down first drive, turned the ball over. Second drive, turned the ball over again. We had a punt return, and it was just back and forth. Like, we couldn't score. But that was just, like, very frustrating just because, we're an offense that puts up 30, 40 a game. So, going out there, I think we scored probably, like, 19 points against them. It was very frustrating. So, going into that next week, it was kind of like we had to turn everything around. Everybody was hyped going into Boise. Obviously, we still didn't have the pieces that we needed. I think that game, too, we didn't have our corner, our starting corner. So we didn't have our starting corner, our safety. We didn't have our nose, and then we didn't have a couple of our O-line. So it was just like that whole stretch from Oregon State to, I think, Boise. It was just a lot of injuries going on. Waiting for people to get healthy, but we obviously knew that definitely what helped us, like there was teams losing too in our league. So it was kind of a thing where it was always going to be us and San Diego State on our side.
Can we survive the next couple weeks and maintain, not lose any more pieces?
Yeah. Well, that San Jose State win was huge.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we had to have that, and you guys brought that home. And that just kind of started the whole thing.
That was probably one of the most, probably the second most important games for us. First one would probably definitely be San Diego State because if we didn't beat them, they would have been in the championship.
What a wild game!
Yeah,
they were. Dude, you could tell on the sideline every time they put the San Diego sideline. Dude, they were talking shit. They were they were acting bold, and the game wasn't even over yet.
Right?
Because Dante got hurt that game too.
Yeah.
We definitely had a lot of penalties that game, and then. They had a number. Like, they were just scoring at will. They were getting stops on us. We were having 3 and outs. And that was just kind of certain things like with us. Like, that was, like, kind of like the story of our offense. Like, there were certain times where we couldn't get it rolling until late. So, like, I think that was Jake's first game back. And I think he was still getting into the groove of everything.
Right.
Going down. Obviously, his injury, obviously you want to get hurt, and then our left tackle got hurt first or second drive of the game. So it's kind of a thing where now he has the other left tackle, and that's his blind side. So now, somebody like you have to.
And he didn't have Michael Orr, man.
Yeah. So now you got to be a little bit, more aware. So I think once we started getting the ball rolling with our offense, we had players out there. I think definitely Nico was probably one of the best things that happened to our offense, just because everything that defenses try to do to be able to guard me one-on-one, it was like it opened so much for them. So it was like cake for,
everybody kind of had their moments throughout the season. It's, with Remigio getting, coming out the gate kind of hot, and then you had a couple good big games there in the middle, and that UNLV had a big game. And then Pope late was the guy. It was just just how do you cover all these guys? You know, you kind of just expose people.
We had too many explosive people.
You know, Mims running the ball, like you just.
I mean, especially like when Mims went out, we had Malik that came in. Malik, I mean. He's good. So.
I mean, he came in late at USC, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Another one, another good back.
Right. The scrimmage.
That's Fresno State.
Yeah, it is.
That's Fresno State. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back. They always find a way.
Hey, this
That's
is a
what I gotta
question
give them. They always do. They find a way.
And we've been talking about this. Is the SEC gets all the praise, right? Yeah. All the love, all the hype.
Yeah.
But can you name an SEC quarterback that's made it in the NFL?
Well,
that's done well.
Yeah, we've named a few now.
Cam Newton.
Now that's playing
Burrow,
now.
Joe Burrow.
Joe.
Like Alabama. Okay, that's a good example.
Yeah.
AJ McCarron.
Don't
he's
start
in the XFL right now?
Don't start dogging on my boy yet.
He runs the XFL.
Mac Jones.
My point is that
Tom Brady 2.0.
is that these mid majors, these non-power fives, still get guys to that level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the difference between SEC, Big Ten, Mountain West, all these conferences is the big guys.
Size.
Yeah. Linemen.
All skilled players, nothing. There's no drop
you can
off.
plug in at any spot, any place.
Plug in. Like we had players on our team that could go play in the Pac-12, that can go play in the Big Ten. It's just the front, the offensive line, the D-line. When you see the D-line down there in the SEC, like I was down there training in Florida, and like we had a few D linemen that a couple would play at Missouri. At the East West, we played. There was one number one. He played for Florida. He was like a DN. That's where you can tell. That's where you can tell it's different.
They're big boys.
In terms of skill players, like obviously you'll have 6'5" receiver here and there. Not a lot of receivers are 6'5", 6'4" anymore. Everybody's 5'11", 6 foot. Not too big, fast, and that's kind of the name of the game now. And that's what a lot of receivers are. But in terms of what's different, like what don't change is the offensive line, the defensive line. That don't change, but that's because you have 6'6" dudes. They're always gonna be 6'6". You see D linemen getting slimmer and slimmer, but they're faster and stronger.
Right.
That's the only thing that'll change. Like skill players are all the same. So that's why when you look at the Big Ten and you look at all these conferences, like the only difference is the big guys. Like skill players,
that's exactly what we've been saying, pretty much.
Do you think Aaron Donald is the reason that the guys are getting leaner and faster? Like they're trying to mimic his game.
I think what started it. I don't know what started it, but definitely Aaron Donald. You see, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah,
Chase Young. You see, like they're big.
They don't look like typical,
but they're fast.
You see them in person, like they're tall, but they're a little bit. They're
lean.
Chunky, they're lean, ripped, fast. Like before, they're
running like the elite 40 times.
You'd see guts on them.
You see
they look like
guts
me.
on them. Yeah, they can't move. They look like they can't move.
Right.
But like obviously, there's a lot of people. Players that'll go out there and like they don't look like they're your typical D line that you go out there 6'6", 350 pounds. Like I think I was looking at a picture of Joey Bosa. Yeah. And when you look at him, like he doesn't look.
No, not at all.
He doesn't look big, but like he's ripped and he's big.
But try and stop him.
And he's fast.
And he's strong.
Yeah.
He's strong.
No, he is
strong and he's fast. And that's what like a lot of the tackles now, like you can't block that.
Right.
So now like the tackles are getting faster. They're getting more slimmer, and their feet are moving faster. Right. They're stronger, but they're still 6'6", 6'7". You still see that.
That's kind of where we want to lead into. The Dogs, you guys go on your run.
Yeah.
Win out. Go to Boise, get your revenge.
Yeah, kick that ass.
And when it matters. And we will say it again, how you don't sell out that stadium for a championship game is beyond me on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. But whatever, Boise.
If it was in Fresno.
I told him the tailgates are starting Friday.
Yes.
They wait until Saturday.
Yeah. No.
It'd be like NFL where there was big parties in the parking lot tailgating.
It might have been something going on all week.
Yeah.
If it was here in Fresno, which it should have been.
We
lost to them. I always felt like with the Mountain West, I think we're the only conference that doesn't have when it's a championship, like a remote,
like a neutral
location,
site.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Like,
That's
everywhere else is you have like you play like forgot what it is, like SEC.
SEC plays in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They play
the SEC. There's
Pac-12 playing
Big 12
Vegas.
plays at the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, you play at the best record.
Yeah.
Whoever stadium has the best record, like whatever team got the best record, that's where you're playing. So
I mean, obviously it's a money thing.
That too. But I mean,
stupid. Mm-hmm. You guys get to the LA Bowl, whoop that ass again. I mean, Washington State. I know there was some talk about they didn't have their players and whatever.
We just stopped them, man.
Yeah.
You guys just bulldozed them.
But I mean, to have that kind of season, like Jeff said, there's a lot of adversity, a lot of faced injuries. You know, there was moments where people were pissed, the fans leaving, like Jeff said, fair weather. To accomplish all that, man, it was impressive to see. Mm-hmm. We were all super proud, that's for sure. But the next step, you kind of talk about players in other conferences, the combine, and you get the invite there. Like what? You just get back. Was this a couple weeks ago, right? I mean, it's not that long ago.
A couple weeks ago.
First impressions.
Man, it was definitely, obviously, a blessing, dream come true. I didn't think it was going to be that long of a process. Like, you grow up, you dream, you talk about the combine, all you talk about 40. You talk about that day that they have on NFL Network. I got there Tuesday morning. We didn't run till Saturday. Got there Tuesday morning. We had a lot of things. Like, we had meetings. We had a bunch of introduction meetings with NFLPA, with a bunch of head NFL people, with commissioners and stuff like that. Wednesday, we had some medical stuff. Some people were, if you had a lot of injuries in college, like not even in college, but like if you had like a broken arm when you were 7,
they knew about it.
They knew about it.
Yeah.
So you're in there doing x-rays, getting x-rays, and if you have an elbow, if you have a knee, if you have an ankle, you're getting an x-ray on your elbow, on your knee, on your ankle, just to make sure like everything's good. Because obviously, you know, they're putting money, investing a lot of money into you, so they want to see, you know, if you're as healthy as, you know, they say you are. So things like that. Like, there were certain players that were in there. We got there probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. One of the tight ends that I play with, I think he was not I play with, but I train with. He was there from 8 in the morning to like 9 o'clock at night.
Getting X-rays,
MRIs, doing a bunch of other tests. And it was, I mean, obviously, you know, they want to invest money in you, so they want to see. So, like, it was kind of like but it was more like a mental thing, too. They want to see if you go in there and you're there all day and you start getting mad and frustrated, and you want to see how
everything's a test.
Body language,
body language, how you speak to people, everything's a test. So we did that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was kind of more like a chill day. We had a bunch of interviews and stuff, you know, formal, informal meetings with, you know, the coaches and stuff from the teams. And then Saturday was go time. So, like, Saturday we woke up probably like 6 in the morning, did all our stuff. We walked on stage, height, weight, arm, your wingspan, single arm wingspan, hand measurements, bone measurements.
That's crazy.
We did everything. Yeah, we did everything. Then
they knew leave no stone unturned.
You basically strip down. You're in your underwear, and that's what they do. You walk on stage, you do all your thing. Walk off stage.
Dang it! Sorry.
Watch your lips.
How do I get there?
Did that like so? Like meeting with teams and having those conversations.
How do I get in there?
It's a little side. Don't mind these guys. Yeah. But the Thursday, Friday, like having these meetings and like talking to teams or coaches, I would think that come Saturday, that kind of took some of the nervousness you had off, or like put you at ease a little bit, or did it opposite?
Man, nah, it did. I want to say the opposite, but it's just definitely like when you go out there and it's time to perform, like the lights are on. When we ran our 40s, it was dead silent. Nobody talking. It's just basically you. So like you 40 yards, you have a bunch of people on the side. All the players over here warming up, stands filled with scouts, the back stands over here. They finally let fans in. That was the first year they let fans in. Fans were down there, and it was just basically like you had the cones, you had all the lasers set up, and it's just you. So, like, all you visualize is that 40 yard. You see where the cone is. get down, basically get ready and just run. Dead silence. Nobody's saying anything. Once you're done, like people will clap and stuff like that. You didn't know your times. You didn't know your times until you ran your second one. So I didn't know what I ran my first time. I didn't know until I ran my second time, because that's when it shows up on the thing. Because like on TV, so our TV time, it was kind of different, because that's why a lot of people were like trying to slow it down. And when people were crossing the line, they're like, he ran a 4.30. Why did he run a 4.56? It was because TV time and real time is different. It's all delayed. So like when I'm starting, I'm running, I'm already at the end of the table, and it still hasn't started on the TV. So like for you guys, when I finished my 40, I was probably barely starting my 40 when you guys were watching it. Damn. So it was like, it's kind of like a delayed time thing with that. So that's kind of the explanation of why the 40s look like that. And it was like when you pass the line, it kept going for a little bit longer. But it was just like once I ran that first 40, it was just like go time. Like,
is that where you guys started?
So that's
with the
what
40?
I was going to ask you. So when you passed that line, where's your mindset? Were you like, yeah, I just did that? Like, were you good with it?
I didn't know what I ran.
Were you confident?
Yeah, but you know time. And were you good with it? Like,
I know yourself. You know how when you run, when you're trying to run fast and it doesn't feel like you're running fast.
Yeah,
that's
every day.
That's exactly how I felt. Like I was out there and I was feeling like I was trying to run as fast as I could, but it was like it didn't feel like I was running as fast. That's why I was like, damn. Like,
but you were running fast.
You
were running fast, bro.
4.4. Yeah, so I ran that. I mean, obviously, with the times that matter, what the teams have, I think 85% of the teams had me at like a 4.37. There's a few teams that had like a 4.38, and that was really all the teams. Like they all had me in the 4.3. So I think with the laser time was definitely 4.40. But it was just like room for error. So like hand time, that was like all the things. That's why pro day, like everything's hand time pro day. So no matter what it is, hand time is pro day. We didn't start with the 40 though. We did this flexibility test that was the worst thing ever. It was the worst thing ever because I'm not flexible. So like when I was doing that, it was kind of like we did something with trying to touch our toes and see how far we can go. We did something where we had like a PVC pipe and you're on your face and your head down. You're trying to reach
that
how
arch,
far.
that bowing.
Yeah. So like when I got done with that, my back was hurting. So I'm like, dang, like I gotta run this 40. My back is already hurting. My lower back is just tight. So I went out there, stretched, and it was just crazy, like the whole process, because everything just like right at one thing after another. So like we went after that. We had probably like 3-4 minutes to get your shoes on. You went to vert. Right after you went to vert, you went straight to broad jump because it was no numerical order. So like I was receiver 9. So like everything was just back to back to back. So when we got done with that, it was vert, broad. Then we stretched a little bit more, warmed up for the 40. Right after the 40, we put our other cleats on right into routes. So everything was just right back to back to back. No water breaks, nothing. You getting water by the time you come back. That's the time you get water. Like,
is there like coaching going on, or they just see what you have?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of coaching going on. There's certain coaches that run the drills. Like there was certain coaches that told us like different routes. Like the Seahawks say that we had a slant. The Seahawks become coaches how we run the slant, how they want to see us run the slant. The Ravens, we had a curl. Coach Dub was like, okay, this is how you run your curls to 12-yard. You want to come back to the quarterback. So like each route, they call it kind of like a different name, but it's basically the same concept. So like every coach taught us how to run the route they wanted, how they wanted to run it. So it was a lot of coaching going on. Definitely, when we're running, like say you false step, like the coach would tell you like, hey, like try to lean a little bit forward so you don't false step. Things like that. So like it was definitely coaching going on.
Interesting.
So when you get back on the plane, like where's your mind? Did you feel like, hey,
he wants to know if you're going to the Dolphins?
I did well. No, I mean
he's on TV. That
I do want to know if he's going to the Dolphins. And McDaniel, if you're listening, he fits very well into your system. So
he was looking hard after his 40. He was.
But no, I'm just curious, like just self-awareness. Like how did you feel when you got on that plane? Like did you feel good? Like, hey, I did I did well.
Yeah.
Like I competed at the highest level. I mean, everybody's
with the
elite
best,
there.
with the best out there. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
what's there,
saying.
Yeah,
everybody's elite.
Yeah,
right.
most
Where did you feel like, you fit in?
I felt like, obviously, I've always felt like I was one of the top receivers in this draft. I think, being able to go out there, run as fast as I did, everybody had me running like 4.5. I think that's what I was projected to run, 4.53, around there. So I was just always like something. It was always something in the back of my mind where I'll never run a 4.5.
Yeah.
I gotta be like, I gotta be like 40 years old to run a 4.5.
Right.
So I'm like, okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
If I could run
that, and
That's awesome.
I think after just the whole thing was over, like a lot of stress was relieved off of my shoulders. Definitely because since I left from Fresno down to Florida, like I just been stressed out a lot of about this whole process, about where I'm gonna go, how I'm gonna run, going out there and running routes, just like the whole process. So like definitely when the combine was over, like I was just like I did it. Like
relieved.
I was able to check off this, on to the next. But like it was just something like that's what I trained for. Like trained for specifically a 40. I was like, damn. The thing I was happy about the most was I never had to run 40 ever again. I don't have to I don't have to train for a 40 ever again. Exactly. Now it's just like I can focus on football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not being a track runner. So I think, that was definitely something that really, helped me.
That's awesome.
Just because that's more intense training, right?
Yeah,
the 40.
Yeah.
The conversations already start.
Details.
Yeah.
Like conversations, is that stuff taking place, or you just got to wait till draft day?
Obviously, the conversation stuff with like teams and stuff, having, meetings, Zoom meetings, obviously being able to talk to them. I had 2 chances to talk to a lot of teams. One was at the Shrine Bowl. The way we did our interviews, I met with, every team. And then at the Combine, I met with all the other teams that I didn't meet with. So, I've met with every team except for the Cowboys.
Which is
my
that's your team.
Yeah.
So
I probably know that, but
I found out.
Well, if they know you broke your leg at 7, man. They know you're a fan. So Jerry Jones, get on it.
I've never been like crazy injured. I didn't have nothing. I went in there. X-ray. I was in there for 2 hours. I took an X-ray of my knee, X-ray of my ankle, and I was out of there. Had the rest
that
of
had
the
to
day
feel
off.
good, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, sweet. So in terms of prepping for like the interviews and all that stuff, do you do that? Is it something that you guys prep for prior to the Combine?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, my agency paid for it. Definitely met with, it's kind of like an old GM. They just basically know all like the ins and outs of everything that the teams ask you. But it was just like, it's football. Like they really want to just be able to get to know you. It's just how you answer.
Yeah.
So like certain things, just being kind of respectful, being like kind of like professional when you answer, certain questions. And I think that was definitely something that, that whole process of learning how to answer questions, learn how to talk to these coaches, what they want to hear, and obviously be able to tell your story in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. That was definitely what it was. And then on the other hand, like when you talk about football, that was kind of a thing where it was just, if you don't know football at this point,
right?
Yeah,
that's what you.
It's not. It's
not. They're not talking X's and O's at that point.
So like
they want to know you.
Things with installs and stuff. Like they'll ask you. They want to see. How you're able to pick up information.
Right.
And be able to distribute. So like I've talked to coaches and we had like mini installs and I'm repeating the install back to them the way they said it to me, or I'm drawing up. They'll ask me a play like, "Hey, it's 3rd and 8. You're at the 40-yard line. You're at their 40-yard line. It's 3rd and 8. You have 45 seconds left. You have 1 timeout. Like, what player? He's cover 1. What player are you going to? So you got to draw up a play. Basically, in the 2x2 set. If he wants you to draw it up in the 3x1, like you got to have a play that's gonna beat that coverage. And you got to tell him like, this is me. This is the hot route right here. This is where the ball's going because it's 38. Like 38, Jake's looking at me. He's not looking at nobody. Like Jake knows he's looking at me. So I think that was definitely something too where like when you're talking to the teams about this, like, and you're telling them, obviously that brings a lot of confidence, but that shows you have confidence in yourself,
right?
And, you know, trust in your game.
Yeah. You always hear about weird questions being asked. Did you get any weird questions?
The only weird question I got was I was talking to a coach and he was like, you walk into this restaurant and you see napkins there's nobody there, like what are you gonna do? And I was just like, throw them away.
What do you? Yeah,
that's what it was just like.
It's kind of what do you want?
He just wants to see what you and like how you answer. Like if you look at him like
why'd you ask that?
Or are you gonna wait for somebody else to come do it?
Yeah. And I was just like, I'll probably pick them up, throw them away.
Are you able to elaborate on any teams that have high interest in you?
So I mean, obviously, you know, I've been able to talk to, you know, a lot of teams. I think talking to, you know, a couple of the players that went through this process, it was like they got drafted to the team they talked to the least, and it was just like, that kind of makes sense. Like just during this whole process, I think because I was talking to Mose and Mike Walk, and it was just kind of like, you know, this was a team that they didn't really talk to. Like they talked to every other team but this team.
They don't want anybody to know.
Baseball.
That's why I'm asking.
Baseball's that way.
Well, yeah.
I think Jason Donald, he's a local product. He got drafted by a team he never even talked to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they stay under the radar.
He didn't even fill out the paper or the questionnaire for him. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I was just curious.
We do tend to watch your lips on here, Jeff.
Go Pats.
There was a conversation we had recently. Do you want to start there? You want to do some calm your lips?
No, go ahead.
You do have a couple calm your lips for us?
I do, but go. What?
Jalen, we play, what do you call it? Watch your mouth?
Watch your mouth.
So I'll we kind of, Jeff's got a bit and we kind of throw out questions out there. Calm your lips means you disagree or you agree. But if you don't agree, you say calm your lips. I got two. If you got one, follow up. You got one.
Okay.
The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. So in 20, they're going to win the Super Bowl next year.
We'll go to our guest first.
He's like, if I'm there, yes.
If I was there,
that's
that
what.
would be lovely.
Oh, I would love that too. My favorite team.
Man, I mean, it's every year you really don't really know. I'll say calm your lips.
All right.
Definitely.
You said calm your lips.
Man, I'll take the field.
They're winning.
You're saying
so?
you're back to
they're
back?
winning. Yeah.
Surprise.
It's a high chance.
Our friend,
Right. Yeah.
Mr. Bravo,
Absolutely.
That's like having Tom Brady.
calm your lips. The Patriots.
Go
Yes,
Pats.
exactly.
That's like a modern day Tom Brady.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had that debate on here as well. Thank
Mahomes?
you. Yes. Yes.
Now
You know what? I knew I liked you, Jalen. I
plenty
knew
of
it.
arguments.
Two championships, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
2 championships.
He's on his way, right? He's not
2 MVPs.
not Tom Brady yet, but he's on his way.
Not yet.
But Tom
We're
Brady
getting
talk
there.
like a Muppet.
Hey, you know what? You can take that mustache and leave. Patrick Mahomes is the man.
You like his brother. Anyways, go next.
What else you got?
TikToker.
The Cleveland Browns are going to make the playoffs this year.
Don't go to
That's-
Cleveland, bro. Please. I mean, I'll take everything back I've ever said about Cleveland.
He's known
if you
for
go to
saying that
Cleveland.
receivers.
Cleveland.
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
I mean,
I say yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Elijah, is Amari
wild card.
Cooper still there back there?
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore's now there.
I got
Deshaun
Watson. They got those running backs are
Miles Garrett.
yeah,
They
man.
got good defense.
Big defense.
Denzel
Yeah.
Ward.
But they didn't do anything to do free agency, right? They weren't a part of it like at all.
They
got
traded a
Elijah
draft
Moore.
pick for
They gave
Elijah
all their
Moore.
money
They picked up
to
Elijah.
Okay, I will say this right now.
They got Nick
If
Chubb.
he goes to Cleveland,
Chubb, that's right.
I will take everything back.
They had Nick
I
Chubb.
swear I'll take it all back because I say receivers go there to die. That's the end of their career.
Now we do
For the
have
most part.
we're waiting to see Amari Cooper's follow up season.
Yes,
he didn't die this
He
year.
had a great season.
Yeah, he had a good season.
I say calm your lips.
He had a good season.
That's a tough division, but Lamar's gone. Kenny Pickett's still unproven. Joe Cole is they're going to win that division.
Yeah, that's the only way I say, because I just when you said, I remember that Baltimore don't have Lamar.
That's
Yet.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to
Oh,
be.
he's not
You had one,
Nobody
too.
wants him though.
What?
No,
You asked
nobody's
the Tom-
going
That's
after
the
him.
crazy part. That's the
Yeah.
crazy
Calm your
part,
lips.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, obviously you grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? Joe Montana to me is not overrated, but I'm going to preface it this way: is Tom Brady a better quarterback than Joe Montana.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but hey, listen, there are people
I know, yeah,
that will argue this. Typically, they're Niner fans.
Typically.
And
some people say Steve
Delusional.
Young was one of the best quarterbacks.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
And he was.
I'm saying Steve Young
was good.
with that team that Montana had. I think he has just as much success personally. Now, people
But
argue.
does-
Tom Brady's
Tom
better.
Brady
here's the
never
thing.
had a Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And plus,
He had Moss for 2 years.
he had Montana and Steve Young. They never went to another team and did what they did. They only did it within their team. You know?
Yeah.
They,
And you can't say
there's no
age.
way. There's
You
no
can't
way
say
at
they
that,
were old.
at that time.
7 Super Bowls.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
way that at that time he would go to another team and he would be that
Same
successful.
year he
No
went
way.
to the team,
Exactly.
Super Bowl.
What about Tom Brady over Troy Aikman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, he's a cowboy
calm
fan.
your
Burns.
lips,
He's a
Burns.
cowboy
Questions
fan.
in writing.
Hey, you know
Please.
what, Jake?
Next. No, you gotta,
Cowboy fan, I had to see.
That's all right.
Before we wrap
He's a
it
real
up, though.
Cowboy fan. That's
Oh, you got another one. Yeah, the one.
No.
Yeah,
What was it? I don't remember.
athlete.
Oh yeah. So what, in your opinion, what sport requires to be the best athlete?
Or produce. I thought it was
Produce the
produces
best
the best athlete. Because you said baseball players.
Baseball.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You can run. You can catch. You can throw.
No.
You
And
can
the argument
I'll
is
let
possible.
I'll let Jalen
I'm
respond.
asking
and
Jalen.
Yeah.
What do you think
You're,
requires
wait,
the
wait.
most
Well, the
skill?
question
Any
is,
sport.
what sport produces
the
the
best,
best
athlete?
athlete?
Is
Is that what?
Yeah,
is
we
that,
can do it.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, or
I'm not
has
asking.
the best athlete.
Has or
the best-
produces
What
or
sport?
requires the most athleticism.
Exactly.
Yes, let's do that. What sport requires the most athleticism?
I said hockey.
The most athleticism. When you talk about athleticism, is it like what, like jumping?
All of it.
all of it.
Physical conditioning,
hand-eye
everything.
coordination, everything.
In
ability.
kind of a two-pronged question here, though, Jalen.
Got to be basketball.
Okay, so
Basketball players, not all basketball players can play football, but they're very athletic. Like they can jump, hand-eye coordination. Like
and they're
obviously-
7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were to
I would say, yeah.
to put it this way, if you were to cross over into another sport, like, what do you think you'd have the most success in? Probably basketball.
Basketball. It depends what position. I think. I mean, in terms of like being an athlete, I think when I think about being an athlete, like, obviously athleticism and being an athlete is two different things. Athleticism is like you can jump high,
Throw
you
far.
can throw far, you're fast, you're conditioned. That's being that's having athleticism. I think being an athlete, definitely football.
Could you kick a 35-yard field goal?
No.
How hard is that? Because, I mean, and
It's
I
not
say
that
this
hard.
because it was a running joke with me and my buddy.
You were the
I've kicked,
kicker,
yes,
right?
I've
Definitely.
kicked. Yeah,
Okay.
too.
I kicked like a 25, 30 yards. But every yard counts once you
See,
hit
gets
to a
it.
certain, so
Okay.
I can hit 30, I can't hit 35.
If you get the right steps,
Yeah.
if you get taught just simply the right steps and just swing like you're going to swing and know where to kick the ball, it can go.
Yeah.
It can go.
Okay.
You can adjust to that.
Well, before we wrap it up, though, outside of
not hard.
football and
It's not
sports,
easy, though.
It's hockey.
tell us about Jalen Moreno-Cropper. What do you enjoy doing? What do you do in your free time?
Definitely play the game.
Karaoke.
Yeah, always on the game. Either 2K, Madden, Call of Duty. Definitely like Call. I was thinking about getting a PC, start playing GTA.
Yeah.
on PC.
Oh, okay.
That's like some pro
okay,
shit
so
right
calm your
there.
lip. Calm your lips here. Madden is better than Call of Duty.
Calm your lips, bro.
Yeah, calm your lips.
Calm your lips.
It got
just-
so,
I agree.
It's,
Although-
it's so
It's just-
complicated.
Although
now.
I'm
it?
excited for the new NCAA football. Because, I mean, that's
always
what-
exciting.
nothing. I don't
Next
know.
year.
Is it next year?
I think next year.
I don't know much that beats that.
Yeah.
Now, NCAA was by far one of the best games. That and
Oh, yeah.
Street.
Oh yeah, street, dude.
Yeah.
The
I think
combos.
Street 4, when you running on the walls. Yeah, Mike Vick. I always had Mike Vick. That was like
Blitz.
Yeah,
It's like a new version of Blitz.
Oh, is that what that
Technical,
is?
dude.
Oh my God, grow up, dude.
I think that
Or grow down. Wait.
FIFA's probably one of the top games.
Oh yeah,
But
FIFA's
I
up
think
there.
in terms of like you rank the games, Call of Duty is definitely like the whole chain of Call of Duty. Activision when what's it called? Treyarch with Black Ops and stuff. They need to bring Black Ops back.
That's it.
Yeah.
I got hooked on that Nuketown 24/7.
Yeah. We were on.
I almost got divorced over that shit.
Like not right now, it's Shipment.
We're in the
Shipment
transit.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Shipment. I'll never
Shipment's
play
the best, dude.
See, that's
Roll Shipment with some shotguns.
just build,
Sound like
just
a
build
bunch
your
of
guns.
nerds
That's
right
how.
now.
That's what I use the Shipment for.
I turn every time I spawn, I try to turn around. I'm getting shot.
All these kids are yelling.
I do have one more for you.
12-year-olds are like, "You're dead.
Damn.
You're dead.
Damn. Off.
Throw the
We'll get
controller."
you.
Whenever
We'll get you
I
on
play
next
Shipment,
week.
I go like probably like 10 and 30 when I play Shipment. So every time I see it and it's starting to load up and it says either Shipment map
Start firing.
or the new map on the new Call of Duty, it's like
Dome?
a freeway. And it's a bunch of cars. I hate that one because they blow up the car. So the car, every
dead.
time you just walk in, the car just blow up. And you're dead.
done.
Like
Yeah,
30
that's-
cars.
Yeah.
You throw a grenade. You
So
kill
every
the
time
3
I
people.
see that map loading up, I quit the map and I just
Back out on
But
that.
it's so
that's
much
every
easier
time.
to use than Madden and 2K. I mean, there's so much into what you could do with players and stuff. Like, I just got lost. I'm like, oh, I'm done. I got done.
with
Like,
the Warzone last year's Warzone was better than this year's.
yeah, it's
Like just the whole, like the way you move, like the map, the guns, everything was better last season then. But the game, Call of Duty, like the actual game, the multiplayer and stuff, the campaign hasn't been good since.
it's
I
too
think actually
too many
Modern
cutscenes,
Warfare
dude.
2.
It's stupid. It's like you watch a movie the whole damn time and you can't skip it.
Right.
You're like, ugh, it's a 6-hour game when only action is like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know many people that buy it or to play the campaign anyways. So
Yeah. Usually, like when you don't have
do.
Wi-Fi, or like you're at a hotel and you can't get the Wi-Fi at the hotel and you're lagging, like campaign.
Yeah.
When
Do what you gotta
not
do.
on, you
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
campaign.
There
Just,
you go.
just cause.
you gotta get them hotspots.
Yeah.
Get team hotspots.
You gotta see what guns. And then you can level up your guns through there too. So like if you do a bunch of things, like there's a bunch of ways.
Are you into war? Do you do the Warzone thing?
Nah,
I'm terrible.
I don't do it no more. Last season, that's all we played, Warzone.
Warzone.
This year was the first year that I actually played like multiplayer and stuff.
See, there's a big age difference, but we
Well, Mosby keeps on trying to get us on Apex. Apex,
that game-
Yeah, that's what
Apex
my
lost,
boys,
dude.
my
That
boys
game's
play.
hard.
Apex
There's a lot
8.
of streamers on Apex. So like once you get to a certain level and you start getting in lobbies with streamers, like it's not even fun no more. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're just getting slapped. Every,
Yeah.
It's like one clip will just you're dead. Even with the purple shield, like, man, what?
At
what
the same,
hell?
yeah, with Apex too, like you'll have like their shields, so you'll have like a gold shield or a purple shield or there's a red shield. So like when you go, and you could shoot somebody with the whole clip, they won't die. So
Oh,
it's
that's
that would
like,
drive me nuts.
That's like when they had those juggernauts on there. It was always so
Yeah,
hard. That's
yeah.
about the last time I
Rage
played.
quitting out of
You
that
remember
shit.
that?
Yeah,
definitely
you remember the
rage
nuts
quit.
part.
Yeah.
Juggernauts. I did have one more.
Attaboy.
I forgot
And
about
then,
Oregon.
and then we'll let you out of here.
Yeah. You brought up Oregon.
Yeah.
Played at UCLA. Played at the Coliseum, USC. Won a championship on the road in a hostile environment, although it could have been worse, Boise. You played in was it SoFi for the bowl game?
Yeah.
Allegiant.
Do you have like which one of these spots or games? I mean, I know a lot of people go to the UCLA game as probably the most memorable, but do you have one or any of those ranked?
Definitely my freshman year at USC. That would probably be number one. I mean, obviously, I wear number 5 because of Reggie Bush. So like playing at USC. So the story with them. So like I was recruited by them, but I got like a late offer, so I wasn't able to enroll till a little bit later. So I was like, nah, like there's no way I'm.
You're gonna miss too much by the time
yeah.
you get there.
So he was like, we can offer you when because there's certain sections and times where they have a certain amount of offers, so they can't give out any more offers until the new time period. So like I was just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna wait for all that. So it was just kind of a thing like that where I went to there. I obviously had chip on your shoulder. You playing the SC, favorite player growing up, Reggie Bush. So my first college snap, I started. I got the ball
Yeah, zebra.
first game. Got the ball, And it was just crazy because I felt like I was running as fast as I can, but I wasn't. I was running. I thought I was like, once I cut up, I seen I was gonna score. Safety came down, juked the safety, and I started running. Big old D line just fell on me. I'm like, damn. Like that's how they're moving.
Welcome.
That's how they move. So I'm like, okay. Right. So like I started getting like the feel of it. Didn't really play the Minnesota game. Didn't really play Sac State. When we went to New Mexico, that's when I was very comfortable playing. Now, like I got used to
adapted to the speed. Yeah.
That's kind of how it was like my sophomore year when I first got moved up to varsity. My sophomore year was my first year on varsity. So like, I think the first game, got the ball. I was a quarterback first game. Got the ball stripped from me, like manhandle, like dude grabbed me, took the ball. I'm like, damn, like this is how it is. So like, third game, that's when I started really getting comfortable with the game speed. Obviously, it's different from freshman and varsity, so it's just like the game speed, and it just slowed down. After like my third game of my sophomore year, like everything was just easy now. Like I was just out there having fun again. So like after my freshman year in college, after that third game, everything slowed down. Like the game, the pace of the game, like how like I'm able to articulate like the plays and stuff. I'm able to be able to understand them, the hand signals that because we didn't huddle. So everything we had to do, I had to read a board every time, see what I was doing, know what position I was in.
Everything's going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. So it was just like my third game, everything just slowed down. And I think that was the first game where I had my touchdown. Same in high school, like my third game, first game, I had my touchdown. And ever since then, it's just been easy since then. So like my whole sophomore year, junior year, senior year, like everything just slowed down. It was just easy. I was just having fun again. So like in college, after that third game again, everything just slowed down and everything was just a lot more easier every game. Like I did better from the last game, and it was just like I felt like once I do get comfortable to that game speed, it's just like once I'm comfortable in my element, like there's nobody that can stop me. And I feel like that's how it's always been. Like especially when I was even when I was younger. When I was younger, it was just always I was just out there just doing a bunch of bullshit. Like I was running.
You were just better athlete than everybody.
I was a quarterback, so I'm not even handing the ball. Like we had plays where I had to hand the ball. I'm not handing the ball. I'm running.
I'm running.
As a kid, I just start running. So I just start running, and I'm running that way. I'm running this way, all the way back around to score, and it was just like.
Even the running backs, when they get the ball, why are you giving it to me?
They're probably
you're way better than me. Go.
Right. Well, I'm glad we didn't have another number 5 at USC just mop us up.
Yeah, me too.
We have to see that again.
Me too.
I'll take it.
Well, man, this was awesome, Jalen. We appreciate you coming in, man, and we wish you the best of luck. We're going to be following you. We want you to get back on here with us, and it'll be a little more loose next time. But
where do they follow, Jeff?
Good luck. You can follow us at @watcher_lips on Twitter and Instagram, @watcherlips on TikTok. Follow this guy, Jalen Moreno-Cropper, future NFL guy, standout Fresno State. Go Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs.
Jalen, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
This was awesome, bro.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Watch your lips.
You got fired.